You can do a little happy dance. Hello, online crew. Look what I have here with me. Look at these faces that I have here with me. We are sharing, Laurie, we are sharing collectively with you today some content creation tips to work harder, not smarter. And just as I say that, I need to cough. Excuse me. What's that all about? I'm doing an Yvette, aren't I? So we have come together. These are some of the people that I work with in my VIP mentorship program, and some of the things that we talk about, very closely, not only building our businesses, but we're trying to work, smarter and not harder all the time. And we do that through our content, the content that we create, the conversations that we have, the skills that we build. And so we've all got things that we're doing in our businesses that I know that we can share with you to help you work smarter and not harder. So welcome Beth, welcome Steve, welcome Laurie, welcome Sheila, welcome Yvette, and welcome Donette. That was a combination of Yvette and Donna there. So welcome guys, and thank you for giving up your time to share some of the things that are working for you in your businesses right now. I'm going to kick it off. Firstly, if this is new to you, my community is what is new to you. Welcome to our online crew here. Now I've got a new branding statement that I need to get used to, but basically I help social sellers implement systems to gain new customers and teammates. So this is all part of that, like the systems that you create in relation to creating content. So if you're a social seller, you're growing a network business, social selling business, direct sales, then you're in the right place. And we are forever trying to, always think about ways to work smarter on social media, because it can be exhausting. I know those people on the screen here with me now know that, is that unless you're organized and you're planned out and you've got systems, social media can get really exhausting. So when we can have systems and that we can work smarter and not harder, it just becomes a little bit easier to show up and then, obviously get results. So I'm going to kick it off and share with you just a foundational thing regarding content in general. And this is my jam, and I'm going to talk about it all the time. And I think it's really, really important for every single one of us in our business. And that is the brand that you stand behind on social media, because that's what creates your content. So if you don't have something that you stand behind, if you don't know who you're talking to or what you're specifically talking to them about, then your content is probably all over the place. Trust me when I say, and I know people that on the screen here with me know this, when you really tighten up your brand, the content gets easier. Correct? When you know who you serve and you know what problems you solve for those people that you serve, your content becomes very streamlined and it becomes much easier to create, rather than that minefield of content going, I don't know what to post. How many of you can resonate with that in thinking, I don't know what to post? If that's you, if that's your journey, you're still in that place, then I would guess that you haven't really tightened up your branding, or even on a personal profile, you haven't tightened up your content buckets. So if we talk about content buckets on a personal profile and that blends in with your brand, if you know what your content buckets are, you know exactly what content you're putting out there. There's no questions. There's no confusion. So you're branding what you stand for in your content buckets, like on a personal profile, or you're branding in a group and on a business page or wherever you're hanging out, TikTok, Reels, whatever. That then enables you to get really streamlined with your content. So I really highly encourage you to think of a couple of things. If you've got a group or a business page, TikTok, Instagram, those kind of things, what's the brand that you stand behind? And on a personal profile, we still can bring that branding in, but what are your main content buckets? And when you know those, your content creation will become easier. But more importantly, you're getting a lot smarter and streamlined with the information that you're sharing. Because when you're here, there, and everywhere with your content, nobody really knows what you're about. They don't really know what you stand for. You don't even know what you can help them with. Therefore, you're going to have, much less opportunity to, get traction in your business. Okay. So let's go around. Miss Beth, what have you got for us? What's your tip? What's working for you in your business?
Hi there, everybody. So my tip for working smarter and not harder with content creation is the AI feature ChatGPT. And this is really working for me in my business. It can help you, work smarter, not harder when it comes to social media content. We all know that, coming up with fresh ideas and fresh content isn't always easy, especially like Helen said, if you don't have your brand and your target market, nailed down, coming up with fresh content isn't always easy and can be really time consuming and sometimes challenging. And ChatGPT can help us to, generate and create ideas very quickly. You can use it for brainstorming or writing or editing your content. And you do want to, when you use ChatGPT, put it in your own words. It might be something like, 10 benefits of medical grade collagen or 10 benefits of multiple streams of income or something. And you can create 10 posts with that very quickly, or even headlines, because it's really important to have that catchy headline, that catchy first line to capture your audience's attention in just a few seconds. And, when I create content, I use Canva as well. So when I use ChatGPT, I, put it into Canva using the bulk create or manually into Canva so that I can create multiple pieces of content so quickly. And I actually did a training in the Online Crew Coaching a while back. So if you're a member of that, you can go back and look at that. It's just using content that you have generated from the AI tool and, putting it into Canva and creating multiple content in just seconds. So that's been really helpful for me. And again, you need to know who your target market is and your branding, like Helen said, so that, you are targeting the right people. So that's my tip for today, and working smarter, not harder.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anyone's living under a rock and you haven't heard the name ChatGPT, you need to find out. Those of you in the coaching community, there's a couple of trainings over there, as well as Beth did a training on how do you create images from the information that you get from ChatGPT, and it automatically creates those images for your socials as well. So there's no excuses for anybody in this industry anymore to struggle with content. With tools like ChatGPT and being able to create the images in Canva from the ChatGPT, ChatGPT, let's spell it out. There's just no excuses for anybody to say, I don't know what to say, or I don't know what to post, because that AI tool, and there are many of them now that have been popping up, and all the leaders are talking about it, all the gurus are talking about it now. So hopefully you do know what we're talking about. But coaching community members, there's definitely training in the coaching community regarding that. It's a time saver. Like, it really is a tool, an amazing tool to help you work smarter and not harder. Absolutely. Thank you, Beth. Steve, what would you like to share?
Hello, everyone. My name is Steve McNeil. And one of the things that I discovered that I had a really difficult time with was doing live video. And experts will tell you that live video is one of the best communication tools that we have to communicate to our audience. But, looking at and staring at a dot on a camera, I felt weird thinking I was talking to myself. So I want to share with you what I found that really helped me get over that learning curve and get past that weirdness. If you were to take a life experience and share that life experience and then attach it to whatever message you want to convey to your audience, you're not going to feel nervous about it because you already know the story. You don't have to worry about not remembering what you were going to say because it's your story. And in doing that, it's going to really help. And all you got to do is focus on what the message is going to be in the end. And I'll give you an example. In the 90s, I was teaching martial arts, and people would ask me all the time, well, Steve, how many black belts are there in your style? 9. Well, how many color belts are there to get the first degree black belt? 9. Why aren't there 10? Well, the reason there aren't 10 is because it's a Korean art, and the Koreans felt that 9 was the highest single digit number. Therefore, that's as close to perfect as you can get. In America, if we were to do what they did traditionally, they only had one belt. They gave you a white belt, and through years of hard work and through sweat, that belt would eventually get darker and darker and darker. But we're here in America, and if we were to use that approach, kids would be out, and some adults would be out rolling in the mud wanting to be a black belt in a week. So that doesn't work. Having a color belt system gives a structure so we know what we're going to teach, and those certain skill sets can be compiled as they rank up. Plus, it builds confidence in the student. So the point I'm trying to make, there's the story. How would I tie that into a message? If you're, and I'm just throwing this out as an example, if you're trying to build a business and you're worried about all the different things that everybody else is doing and you're trying to get ahead of the Joneses, don't do that. All you have to do is focus on one particular thing or two particular things at a time. And then as your confidence builds, you'll get to the next thing. Get yourself a mentor, get somebody who can give you that structure. And before you know it, you'll be feeling like that black belt who spent years waiting for that belt to get darker and darker. That's my message.
Yeah, good point, Steve. And everyone has to start somewhere. And we can't expect with even things like content creation that you're going to be a whiz at it to start with. It takes practice. It takes failing a little bit. It takes mistakes. But when you can really fall back on your story and that, something that aligns with you and is personable to you, it'll help you stand out more from the crowd. It'll help build your brand, and you just relate that into, what you're doing for business. So, great points all around there, Steve. Thank you. Laurie, what have you got for us?
Hi, guys. Steve, I'm going to start calling you Steve the Story Guy. You're so good at that.
Yeah.
So, hi, guys. My name's Laurie Endress, and my tip today is keeping your brain all together. So, and Helen has told me in the past, I spend a lot of time thinking. If I got half the stuff done that I think about, I'd be a millionaire. So in order for me to move myself forward, and I actually got this tip from Helen, is, obviously to plan out your content. Now, Helen touched on it a little bit, having your content buckets. You can have 2, 3, 5, 7. You don't want a whole lot. Otherwise, if you have so many, then you're all over the place. A good amount is 5 content buckets. For me, it's one of them is my business. One of them is my crazy life here, my family that includes my grandkids, my dog, and my health journey. I'm 62 years old, and I plan on living to be a really long time to irritate people for as long as I can. So those are my 5 content buckets. Now, what I got from Helen here just lately, and it has been wonderful, is I got on Google Calendar, and I printed off a blank one. And I took my 5 content buckets, and I just decided, okay, on Mondays, it's a good time to motivate people. For those people, maybe you're still going to work. So I'm going to put up something motivational. On Tuesdays, I'm going to give a tip. That is wide open for me to give a health tip. I could give a financial tip. I could give a business tip. I could give a social media tip. It's wide open. And it gives me endless content. Wednesdays is my family and my dog. Whether it's a selfie or something crazy that my kids did or something bizarre that we caught on camera in the backyard, whatever it is, Wednesdays are my family and Zeke. Thursday's the day that I use to promote my team, what we've done, the relationships that we have, the mentorship that we have, the systems that we have, promotions, that kind of thing. Friday is my health. I got through the week. I really sucked. I made 2 pans of brownies. I'm going to start over again next week or whatever. But Fridays are my health journey. And then Saturday's just my life, a selfie of me doing something. But I literally got that figured out in about 10 minutes, what I'm going to do each day. And then based on that and what is involved with those buckets, I don't have to think at all about what I'm going to be coming up with. And, for me, I need to write it down. But, yeah. And again, like Beth said, that Chat GPT, my gosh, I could come up with, 1,001 things to motivate people on Mondays or, whatever. So that's my little tip.
Okay. Quick couple of questions, Laurie.
Yes.
Is that the first time you've printed out that kind of thing and done that activity?
Yes.
How many times have you heard me tell you to do it?
Oh, about 1,001.
Okay. So my point, I'm just picking on her there for a second, because this is what makes the difference with when you listen to somebody give you a suggestion and you actually go and action it. So Laurie has heard me talk about that because it's something that's worked for me for years. Laurie has heard me say that multiple times. She finally, in the last week or so, picked it up. I said it again. And she's like, I'm going to try that, maybe about a week ago. So she's gone and done it. And how does it feel regarding knowing, just looking at that at a glance, knowing and feeling that you're kind of planned out, now with your content?
Oh, it's day and night different. And the cool thing about it is that for each one of those days, yes, that's for my personal profile, but I could do a reel. I could do a story with that same content. So, and I think the reason it's working for me, and this might be a tip to help other people, is I didn't get really specific about what it was that I was going to post. Because before I would try to go into my Trello board and bring up a picture that I would use and the wording and all of that. And I didn't do that this time. It was just the topic. So, and I think that left it open enough for me that, I can absolutely come up with something to motivate people. If nothing else, I just take a selfie and smile, and that will make their day.
But the most important thing is you've got some kind of structure and system to how you're creating your content.
Absolutely.
And this is the difference between content exhausting you and social media exhausting you, and just having, a bit of a plan. And that is the reason why I share that strategy is it's so simple.
Yes.
If you don't listen to anything else from this training today, go and action what Laurie has shared. Thank you, Laurie.
And don't be stubborn like me. Just do it. Do it the first time.
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot less painful if you just go and do things the first time than listen and go, yeah, I should probably try that. And then you hear me say it again. Oh, I should probably try that. And then if we had $1 for every time I've said it, but she's finally done it, and well done. Okay, awesome. Thank you for sharing, Laurie. Sheila, what's your tip for us today? Sheila, you need to unmute.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
I'm Sheila, and here for the first time. My tip for working smarter and not harder is to stay focused. As long as you stay focused, you can achieve anything and everything that you need to achieve. Mm-hmm. I must say, I thought I could look at notes, but as Helen said, I can't. So,
you can look at notes. You can look at notes. If you've got notes, that's okay.
So, reason why I said stay focused is because I thought I could do it all by myself when I started out on my journey. And eventually I found out, no, I could not do nothing at all by myself. I had was to reach out. And so reaching out, I have made a lot of progress. I am trying to stay focused, not fully focused as yet, but I'm still trying to stay focused. So I would encourage anyone and everyone, get yourself someone who is ahead of you in the game. Plan out your day, plan your content, and stay focused in everything that you do. Because the minute you lose focus, you're going to fall off the track. So another thing that helped me to stay focused is being in Canva. I was taught to plan my weekly schedule, my monthly schedule ahead of time. And that I have been doing, and that's a great help to me. So that's my tip for you today, to stay focused on whatever you do, and you will get it done.
Yeah. Thank you, Sheila. And can we give it up to Sheila in the comments? It's the first time she's done something like this. I know she's nervous, and she's done well. And honestly, at the end of the day, it is all about focus. And sorry, Cherie, I am going to pick on you because she's said it herself. She's watching live, Cherie, and she's just admitted in the comments, lost focus is why she's not on stream. Cherie's meant to be on the screen with us now, and Cherie lost focus. And we've had reminders in the group, reminders in the messenger chat, like she lost focus and she's not here with us on screen, and she's just admitted it. I wasn't going to call you out, Cherie, but you've called yourself out. So that's what happens when you lose focus. The hard part about being in this kind of industry, especially when you've got busy lives and you do other things and you've got kids and some of you might have jobs and things like that, is that we are our own boss. And unfortunately, we are happy to let ourselves down before we'll let down others. You show up for a boss, you show up for an employer, you show up for your family. Just mute yourself again, Sheila, for me. Just press, yeah, thanks. We'll show up for other people. You'll feed your family, you'll feed your grandkids, you'll do whatever it is for everyone else. And when it comes to your business, it's last on the list. That's not somebody that's focused with their eye on the prize of being able to achieve some new customers and some new teammates and getting some more money in your bank account for not only you, but your family and your kids and your grandkids and the legacy that you want to leave. So if you want that money in your bank account to leave that legacy for your family and your kids and your grandkids, you have to be focused with what you need to achieve, in your businesses. And with attraction marketing, it comes from your content. You've got to be focused on your content and your conversations. It's what I've been saying a lot over the last few weeks. You've got two priorities, content and conversations. If you're not doing content, you're not attracting new people to you. If you're not having conversations, what's the point of doing all the content if you're not having any conversations? You're just wasting your time on social media if your content doesn't convert to conversations. Now, if you're not focused on content, you're not attracting anyone to you. If you're not focused on conversations, you're not having any conversations to get customers and teammates, or at the end of the day, any money in your bank account. So you've got to start with focus. And focus starts with what Laurie shared with you just before that she's finally implemented. That's focus on her content. Focused on getting streamlined with tools that you've got at your disposal, like ChatGPT, like Beth spoke about. That helps you keep you focused. It cuts down the time that you even need to think about content creation because we've got tools that can do the thinking for us. And then being focused on your brand and storytelling and having your unique flair, like Steve was saying, and that keeps you focused on your lane. Don't do what everyone else is doing. Don't say what everyone else is saying. You've got your story to share, your path, and stay focused on that. And, being focused is being organized. And that's when, Cherie, you should be on this screen and not watching live because you lost focus. And I was only on a call with you like 15 minutes ago, woman. Sorry, all good. But, she's called herself out. So I know Cherie's up for that. Anyway, let's move on. Let's keep going. Miss Yvette, what have you got for us?
All right. I have something for you. My name is Yvette. And if you want to work smarter and not harder, then you want to repurpose your content. you want to repurpose. And what do I mean by that? You use one piece of content you can that you had for an intended purpose and to use it for other purposes. So how do we do that on social media? Repurpose our content, because online marketing, it's all content, right? And so for you can choose a topic from your niche. Choose a topic from your niche. So you choose a topic, you maybe have done a written post and you gave 5 tips. Now you can go and with those 5 tips from that written post, you can grab those 5 tips, you can do a Facebook Live. So one, you did a written post. Now you're going to do a Facebook Live. You're going to talk about those things, but you don't have to talk about the 5 tips in the one live. You can do 5. So now you have 5 lives on that calendar, Lori, right? On your calendar for your 5 days or your 5 weeks, wherever you want to put it. So now you've done a written post, you've done a Facebook Live. Now, what else are you going to do? You could go branch into reels, 5 reels or maybe 10, right? So you could do your reels, you get into your stories, 5, you have 5, or you could have 10. You get it over there into Instagram. You spread it out again. Those same 5 tips. But what you actually are going to do is to change up the wording sometimes. Change up the images, change up, maybe the how you say it, change up how you present it. But it's the same concept, the same ideas from those 5 tips. So whatever your niche is, think about it. Now, within those 5 tips, what are you doing? You're educating. 2, you're empowering your people in your niche. 3, you're entertaining them, especially with those reels and the stories, maybe something that's going on that you could, you maybe have done before, maybe when you went out or something, you want to put those little, video clip or anything, but you want to enhance. Now, what is that doing? It's engaging, it's allowing you to be engaged with your audience. Now, your audience are going to be like, curious, what's that? Then now you come around with a curiosity post again. And so you think about all the different platforms that you actually post content on. And you could use that. You could have a year's worth of content from those 5 tips. Believe me, because it's so much information that you could gather around those 5 tips. Go into your AI, go into the GPT, go into the Canva, be creative. And so repurposing content here online or on social media is just the way to go, because I don't know about you. We are busy people, and all of us are busy people. I think we can agree on that, right? And so when we are busy, sometimes we're like, oh my goodness, what do I post? And you get that overwhelm. And so this eliminates a lot of the overwhelm, and it does give you an opportunity to breathe, because sometimes when you haven't done the homework, Lori, and we don't have what to post, you can go back and grab something from what you did already and start the operation all over again. So repurpose it, and I haven't even exhausted. What about the blog post that you could write? It's so many ways to reuse. Remember now, repurposing is using one thing that you had for this particular purpose and use it for something else, another intended purpose. And man, that is endless content. So that's what you can do to work smarter, not harder.
Yeah, so true, Yvette. So especially, those of you that are doing micro video content as well, you can record something once, but that one little video can be on Instagram Reels, it can be on Facebook Reels, and it can be on TikTok. So that's kind of what Yvette's sharing. You can take one idea, and that idea could be in a live, that idea could be in a written post, that idea could go in a story. You don't have to create individual pieces of content. And the other thing to remember about that, and this is something I had to learn the hard way, is I was over delivering, I think, and sometimes we get caught up in that, and that we think that we need to deliver a lot of information. Honestly, the average person doesn't absorb lots of information. They don't need 5 tips. They don't need 10. They need 1 or 2. So whatever content you've got, you could probably relook at it and go, I could actually break that down further. Like Yvette said with the 5 tips, could be 5 Facebook Live. So just thinking along those lines, you don't need to give a lot of information. People don't retain it. We're sharing a lot of tips, each one of us, and then I'm ad-libbing on top of that. You're not going to remember everything that you've listened to in this short training here. That's not what necessarily people need. But the beautiful thing about live video is you can stop, you can record, you can make notes, you can listen to it again. It's invaluable. The other thing with that is recycling. So take from what Laurie shared earlier with her sheet of paper. So she's got 30 days. Just hold that up again for a sec, Laurie. There's 30 days. Now, she could do a calendar for the next 30 days and the next 30 days. So let's say she's got 3 of them. So 3 pieces of paper. Guess what she can do covering 3 months? Guess what she can do on month 4? Well, there you go. She's got it there. That's funny. So she's got 3 pieces of paper covering 3 months. Guess what she can do on month 4? She can go back to the first bit of paper and reuse the same strategies, or just say something in a slightly different way on the same topic. Who remembers what somebody said 90 days ago? You've had 90 days of TV, email, conversations, people, social media, TikToks, Reels, whatever. You don't remember what Laurie said 90 days ago. You can not only repurpose, but you can recycle as well. This is how you learn to work smarter. Okay, Donna, finish us off.
Sure. Hi. Thanks for having me today. Happy to be bringing up the rear. So to work smarter and not harder, I just create some interactive content that's going to engage my audience. So if I have content that can encourage participation,
yes,
I learn a lot of things. So ways to do that: you can create polls, quizzes, challenges, ask questions related to your niche or your brand. And you do that in your stories, in your posts, and in your lives. An example is if you're in the health and wellness, you can ask a question, a poll, ask which healthy habit is the most challenging for you to maintain consistently. Some options you can give is like regular exercise, healthy eating, sufficient sleep, and stress management. And then you get your audience to engage by voting for those things. And then it also encourages them to share their thoughts about that. And you get further information about what your niche is interested in. So you can also just ask questions and invite opinions when you're doing your posts or your lives, and ask people, what do you think? Do you disagree? Or do you agree or disagree with that? And just try to get people to answer the questions, have a call to action. Follow me on my business page. But these types of content that spark conversation can just increase your engagement levels, and it creates a sense of community and can encourage your audience to be active and participate. So that's what I wanted to share today.
Love that, Donna. And just to reinforce that, social media is called social media for a reason. Mm-hmm. What does the first word say?
Socialize.
Social. Let's be social on social media. Oh gosh, who would have thunk it? We need to have conversations on social media. We need to, have that conversation and ask questions and ask for engagement and find out what people want and do a poll and, all those different things that we can achieve through asking and through putting that type of content out there. You can actually learn a lot from your audience. I've got no idea where that background noise is coming from. Can you hear that? It's like someone's laughing. But you're all muted. So I don't know where it's coming from. It's freaking me out. Maybe only I can hear it. I've got gremlins in my computer or something. Oh, it's stopped now. Anyway, moving on. think about content in a way. Like I write a lot of posts and I reread them, and it's kind of like, well, I kind of want people to let me know if they agree or not. So you'll notice with some of my posts, I'll just be sharing something that's on my mind, but in the middle of the post or at the end of the post, I'm like, you know, do you agree with this? Is this something that you experience or something? I'm often asking a question in my post, or you can bring in polls or things like that. Or when you do stories, like ask a question, put a call to action, those kind of things. Like you want to engage your audience to find out what their thoughts are, what their questions are. If you encourage questions, especially from a group or a business page, or even on a personal profile for that matter, you'll find out what people are wanting to know. Unless you never ask a question of your audience and you're just talking at them, it's a very one-way street. And that's not social media. That's not creating great content. So I love that, Donna. Thanks for sharing that. So hopefully out of, you know, what we've shared today, you've got some kind of tip, some kind of something you can action. Stephanie, I noticed in your questions you asked, watching live, where is the sheet? I'm actually revisiting all of this next week in the coaching community. So a calendar plan, like a very simple one, and I'm also revisiting a DMO as well. So next week in the coaching community, Stephanie, if you don't know how to do it or look for it or whatever, I'm actually going to show you and give you those templates and things like that. So we'll go through that deeper next week in the coaching community, because I think people just, a lot of success in social media is stripping it back. Let's get a bit of planning in place. Let's get some smarter tactics in place. Let's not work harder. How about let's all work a little bit smarter? And that's why I'm really moving into systems and things like that in the coaching community, because there are very simple things that you can do, but highly effective in all of this. And content creation is just key. But being social on social media and having conversations and all those kind of things we've talked about. So for those of you that are watching live, thank you for joining us. Please thank my guests for joining me today and sharing their tips. Thank you, Beth, Steve, Laurie, Sheila, Yvette, and Donna for giving up your time and sharing those tips with us and our audience. Hopefully they got something out of it. But the key is to go and action it. Like something that you've heard, go and action it like we've been talking about. So thank you very much. This is our last live video for the week. So I will, thanks again. If you just want to unmute and say goodbye, guys. Thank you for watching. Always a pleasure to have
Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
everyone. And we'll catch you next week.
See y'all later.